The forgotten animatronic that might explain everything. FNAF theory. Well, there's one animatronic almost nobody talks about anymore. Not because it's unimportant, not because it lacks screen time, but because most players assume they've already figured it out, and I think that's a mistake. Because hidden behind one of the franchise's most overlooked characters might be a clue that connects multiple generations of FNAF lore. Now, before we start, this isn't one of those theories where I claim every character is secretly the same person. We're going to look at actual patterns, design choices, behavior, story themes, and a few details that become very strange once you place them side by side. Today, we're talking about an animatronic that spends most of its time in the background, a character many players barely remember after finishing the game, yet somehow, the more I looked into it, the more important it became. So let's begin. The first thing we need to discuss is the character's story. It's the design, because in FNAF, Scott rarely adds visual details without a reason. Sometimes the answer is obvious, other times it takes years before the meaning becomes clear. This animatronic has several unusual design traits, features that separate it from almost every other character around it. At first glance, those details seem cosmetic, just artistic choices. But what if they're actually clues? Think about how often FNAF uses appearance to communicate information. Missing eyes, broken masks, different colors, unusual accessories. Again and again, the franchise uses visual storytelling before it ever explains anything directly, and that's exactly why this character caught my attention, because the design doesn't just look different, it feels different, almost like it belongs to a completely different story. And once we move beyond the design, things get even stranger. Let's talk about behavior, because unlike most animatronics, this character doesn't act like a predator, not completely. There's aggression, there's danger, but underneath all of that, there's a pattern, a routine, a sense of purpose that feels different from simple hostility. It's almost as if the character is following instructions that nobody else remembers anymore. And that's where our theory begins. Because when you compare this behavior to characters introduced much later in the franchise, something unexpected happens. The same themes start appearing again. Isolation, observation, memory, identity, characters separated by years of development, yet connected by strangely similar ideas. Now maybe that's coincidence, or maybe the newer games are quietly revisiting ideas that were introduced long before players realized they mattered, and if that's true, then this forgotten animatronic may not just be a side character, it might be a blueprint, a prototype for themes that would later become central to the entire story. But to understand why, we need to go deeper. We need to stop looking at what the character does and start looking at what the character represents, because that's where the real mystery begins.